Hello everyone. Welcome to GS Core. So in our series of the current affairs through MCQs related to governance, we are back with another set. So let us look at the MCQs that we have today. The first question is regarding the Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan scheme. The Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan scheme. Right. So schemes, programs, policies, laws and bills often make it to the MCQs in the prelims examination. Right. And hence such schemes in news are important. So let us look at the statements. The scheme has been launched by Ministry of Labour and Employment for unorganized workers only. Well, that is correct. Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan. So it was that speech and also which the Prime Minister said that these are Shram Yogis, people who are into unorganized sector, yet they contribute a lot to country's development. Second statement, unlike Atal Pension Yojana, it is a contributory pension scheme with prescribed age-specific contribution to be made by the beneficiary. Well, it is not like Atal Pension Yojana. If we look at the Atal Pension Yojana, it is also a co-contributory and not just contributory, co-contributory, right? Unlike Atal Pension Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan scheme allows only monthly contributions. Well, that is correct. So far we have one and the third statement as correct. Let us look at the fourth statement. It will be implemented by Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority. Remember, it's a regulator. It does not necessarily implement the scheme, right? So that is incorrect. If we look at, in reality, it is implemented by the LIC, that is Life Insurance Corporation of India, and CSC E-Governance Services Limited, right? So this statement is incorrect. Hence we have 1 and 4, 1 and I beg your pardon, 3 as correct, and hence the correct answer would be option A. Option A. Moving on. With reference to Pragati platform, consider the following statements. So Pragati platform is well known, right? We do teach about Pragati platform as part of our governance classes. It is an ICT based multimodal platform that is aimed at addressing common man's grievances. Well, that statement itself, if we look at the statement, grievances, we have that CP grams as well, right? But through Pragati also, streams flow in to the Pragati. So that statement seems correct. So let us keep it like that. It monitors and reviews projects of the Government of India as well as projects flagged by state governments. Yes, that is the core, the project implementation. Its meetings are chaired by the Cabinet Secretary. That is incorrect. Its meetings are chaired by the Prime Minister and not the Cabinet Secretary. We need to find the incorrect statement. The incorrect statement. So for 3, we are very sure that it is incorrect, right? For 1, we are a bit doubtful, right? So we need to know more about, the Pragati platform. Okay. So if we look at the Pragati platform, it is, it stands for proactive governance and timely implementation. That is proactive governance and timely implementation. If we look at the terms of reference, it clearly states that the platform is aimed at addressing common man's grievances and simultaneously monitoring and reviewing important programs and projects. So that makes this statement correct. See, very close, very, very close. Okay. So we have only third statement as the incorrect statement. Hence the answer would be option C. Otherwise, it is very easy for somebody to get straight and mark option D as the correct answer. So you need to know the nuances of the various platforms and schemes. Moving on. With reference to eChhavani portal, consider the following statements. It aims to provide online civic services to residents of cantonment boards across the country. Well, that is correct. It is about eChhavani. Chhavani is cantonment. If there is a cantonment near you, you can easily say that, even in local lingo, it is said that that is the area of Chhavani or Chhavani ka ilaka hai. Right. Second statement. It has been developed by Defense Research and Development Organization. Well, this statement is not entirely correct. If we look at the portal, has been jointly developed by E-Governance Foundation, Bharat Electronics Limited, Directorate General of Defense Estates and National Informatics Center. So these many agencies are involved and not DRDO. Right. And hence the correct answer would be option A. Option A. Moving on to the next question. Ryuthu Bandhu Scheme, which aims to provide financial support to land-owning farmers at the beginning of the crop season through direct benefit transfer, is implemented by the state of. So if we look at governance, right, we have different schemes, policies and interventions by center and states. So for example, Mo Sarkar, etc. So schemes by states are also covered. So pay special attention to schemes in news vis-a-vis states as well, which are covered by national news at least. So if we look at this particular thing, this is by the state of Telangana. If you know, if you know, if you don't, you don't. It's highly factual. But if you have some sort of language and you are familiar with the language spoken in the state and the scheme has been named in a way that resembles the native language, still you can identify that scheme. Next, consider the following statements regarding Shagun portal. It is created by Department of Education under Ministry of Education. It creates a junction in the form of a platform for all portals and websites of the Department of School Education in the Government of India, all states, union territories. Well, this, if we look at Shagun portal, both the statements are correct because it has been developed as a single point access platform for various stakeholders, right? So that is correct. It was in news and hence the knowledge of it is vital. Hence the correct answer would be option C. Option C. Moving on. Poshan Abhiyan, again very much in news. PM Poshan, right? Even in the budget also it was in news. So let us look at, so these are the factual premises of a thing which has been in news, right? So while you can, the examination can test current affairs, but can also test the facts around current affairs. Okay, so let us look at these statements. Poshan Abhiyan primarily aims to improve nutritional status of children 6 to 14 years. Well, if we look at Poshan, it is 0 to 6 years. So this makes this statement incorrect and already eliminates, certain options. So we are left with B and C. Next, Niti Aayog has been entrusted with the task of closely monitoring the Poshan Abhiyan. That is correct. That is correct. The Ministry of Women and Child Development has rolled out the Poshan Tracker application. That is also correct. So we have 2 and 3 as correct. Hence the correct answer would be option B. Option B. Moving on. Which of the following statements are correct about Bal Basera or Project Bal Basera? The project has started by CPWD Officers Wives Association. Generally, we see such associations related with defense forces. Right. So that is very unlikely, but still we'll, keep it. It has been started for the welfare of children of construction workers deployed at the site. Yes, that is true. The project primarily aims to provide education to these children at the construction site itself. Yes, and that was the highlight of this. So we have 2 and 3 are correct. So either of these, right? And we'll have to see if one is correct or not. Okay. So basically, if we look at the statement, the project has started by CPWD Officers Wives Association. Basically, CPWD had signed an MOU with the CPWD Officers Wives Association for organizing the health camps and managing crashes at construction sites in a formal and organized manner on a large scale. Right. So that makes this statement also as correct. Hence, the correct answer would be option C. Option C. Also, if we look at, it is indeed for the children of construction workers. And the third statement can be questioned in the sense that provide education. Education. That is under question again. Whether it is about education or health camps. So when we see that health camps and crashes, right? So we see some form of education as well. Okay. If we look at an example, it was AIMS Rishikesh, where this thing was also set up, right? So hence the answer will in a way dwindle between A and C, but in my opinion the correct answer would be option C. Option C. Moving on. Yukti is associated to an online platform to connect young entrepreneurs with job seekers, a web portal to combat COVID-19 with knowledge, technology, and innovation, a United Nations recruitment initiative for talent, highly qualified professionals to start a career as an international civil servant. Well, that is highly unlikely. Right. A WHO initiative to increase the representation of nationals from least developed countries in WHO workforce. The name is pretty Indian, so it is highly unlikely that it is going to be, something by United Nations or WHO. So we are somewhere between A and B. If we look at the Yukti, recently Yukti 2.0 was in news. basically, which was an extension of Yukti, which was an initiative of Ministry of Human Resource Development, basically to identify ideas relevant to the COVID-19 pandemic. Hence, the correct answer would be option B. Option B. Moving on. Cycles for Change Challenge is associated with which of the following missions or initiatives? Well, Mission Karam Yogi in news, Wetland Conservation, Jal Jeevan Mission, Cycles for Change. All of them actually hold qualification if we just go by the name. So it's a highly factual question, right? And the answer to this is the Smart Cities Mission, that is A. Basically, Cycles for Change is a challenge under the Smart City Mission. When I say challenge and incentive approach, which has been recently emerging in the urban and rural development scenario and improvement in infrastructure and governance, right? So this is the correct answer, A, Smart Cities Mission. Moving on. Which of the following statements is correct regarding the Prakash portal? Basically, it is a measure, it measures the level of rural electrification under Deen Dayal Upadhyay GRY, or it is designed for mapping rooftop solar development in India on real-time basis. It is developed by Niti Aayog. It is designed for better mapping and monitoring of entire coal supply chain. Well, if we look at the Prakash portal and if we look at India's energy mix, right, it is still largely coal-fed. And this basically Prakash portal stands for power, rail, koila, that is coal, availability through supply harmony. So the moment you know the full form, you can easily say it is related to the coal supply chain. So it is important to know the full forms, right? And they can make you reach the correct answer, right? So that's all that we had for these sessions, for this session in particular. You can attempt more such exciting MCQs by scanning this QR code or visiting the link in the description, not just for governance and social justice, but for other subjects having relevance for the preliminary examination as well. That's all for now. Thank you.